Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, the stock market, the altcoin market, the Bitcoin price chart, precious metals like gold and silver, the dollar, and of course, any type of financial news and any type of crypto news that is going on out there in the world today. Of course, today is 223 days of being in a range. Obviously not. We have exited the range. So, hey, everybody, we're at $34,000 Bitcoin. So what a breakout to happen over here in Bitcoin. We've seen some move over there in the altcoins. Not everything is keeping up with Bitcoin just yet, but there's definitely been a couple that have 100% already up, 2x already just in the last 24 hours. So we'll take a peek around the market. You got a little bit of price action over there on the XRP price chart. XRP took a little bit of a breakout of its like Wyckoff accumulation range. So we'll talk about that today. And just obviously, I've been watching the chat. You guys have been sitting here reading what you guys have been saying and waiting for the stream to start. But obviously, we're sitting above $34,000 here for Bitcoin. What an exciting time, as price has now officially left the range, which, of course, we've been watching over here for quite some time. These aren't periods where I like to gloat. Of course, it feels good. We got it right. But, in the end, we got to move forward. Today will be kind of a day of just kind of celebrating that we got out of there because, we're all happy to finally see the breakout. And today we'll kind of look at all those things and just kind of talk about markets. But, expect, the kind of next moves that we just kind of talk about, the next range, right? So, you break from one range and what do? You move to a new range and then you build a new trading range and then you do something else, right? So this is obviously exciting to officially leave a 200 and something day range happening in here. And especially with all the emotions that were all over the place the whole time. It's just, of course, it's wonderful to get out of there. And I could see the excitement out there. And, we talked about this a lot last Friday. I was going through a lot of my emotional log, that feeling of somebody standing on your chest would fade away above the break once we got above 32,000. And obviously, once we got above 32,000, which we cracked here through 31.9, you saw Bitcoin's price fire all the way up to 35, even get above 35,000 as it currently sits at 34,449. So definitely an exciting time in the crypto market. And we'll dive through all of it today in Markets in the Morning as we get kicked off. But we'll kind of go through what is happening in the market currently right now, what happened yesterday, and just kind of take a deep breath, right? Just like soak the moment in, right? These moments don't come every day. They don't. We've been in this range for over 6 months now, right? It's almost 7 months we've been in this range. We left. These times don't last for forever, so we'll just kind of soak it up and enjoy it. There will be tough times again, but today it's a day of just excitement for everybody, I'm sure, just coming out of such an emotional moment in the market. So before we dive into everything, we'll go through our typical stuff right in here. You can check out my Twitter page or my x.com page. That's BC Backer. It's the only social media that I do use, and I do not DM you or comment on anything that you post on Twitter and ask you to send me a DM and then try to get you to send me your crypto. Those are scams. Don't do that. Of course, you can check out the merch store. All these links are in the description of this video. Blockchain Backer and XRP related merch down in here. I'm going to be putting out a video today, and we're going to kind of talk about quite a few things that are actually written in this newsletter that I put out on October 16th. So this was 8 days ago. Money or tech, Bitcoin secret dance, money or tech. anybody who subscribes to the newsletter and read through this thing, which also includes like audio voiceovers, I do read the whole thing in there, and sometimes talk a little bit more about the charts that are posted in here. There's a 16-minute audio thing. We actually talked a lot about this move. We've even kind of briefly touched on it here in Markets in the Morning over the last week, talking about NDXT, talking about the technology sector of the stock market, and how even that was pointing to another move up, and the consolidations we've seen for Bitcoin currently right now. Not only, do we see similar fractals behaving in price, and, are we following the timeline, which, there you go, guys. This thing's still right on time. We could see other signals too, pointing from just the technology sector of the stock market. But still, it's going to pose the questions in regards to, how high can Bitcoin go, which I already see the first super chat in here, which I'll get to. Craig, he says, hey, BCB, appreciate the content as always. Has this recent Bitcoin price action changed your expectations for price going into a retracement versus a new all-time high? Thanks. Right. So that's going to be the common thing for a lot of people now, is that here they expected all-time high. Here they expected 23K, expected 12K. Here, now they expect new all-time highs again. And Craig, I am not picking on you. Your question is something that half the audience probably has, in that it's when the emotions change, right? Get down here, 12K, that means new low, right? Get here, new all-time high. And so we'll kind of talk about the challenges of that in the video that I put out today. And really, this was dived into a lot here. And tech was pointing to us having another push up, but still to this point, tech points to retrace. So we'll be looking to tech more, and I'll dive more into that in the video that I put out today. Of course, you guys could check out bcbacker.com. This is a course I put together. It's over 40 videos, 11 hours of content, teaching you about trading view, historical behavior of the crypto market, all that great, wonderful stuff. Wyckoff accumulation, Elliott wave theory. These are the best ways to support the channel. These are the things that keep the lights on for BCB showing up every day. And I try to provide you value, right? So this is $39 one time. There's no subscription. The newsletter is a subscription, $19.99 a month. These are the number one ways to support the channel, at least if you want to financially support the channel. bcbacker.com, or the newsletter, blockchainbacker.substack.com. Otherwise, let's go ahead and talk about crypto as the day gets going. There it is. There's the breakout. It's one of those things. When it was happening, it was exciting, but we could see it yesterday. It was kind of like, hey, if we're following it, it's like the next 8-hour candle that we would get it. And we did end up getting it. So it wasn't like super surprising to me, because I was standing there watching it, but at the same time, kind of soaking it in at the same point that we are finally out. 200 and something days, and we are finally out. It feels good to get out. For me, I think of what are the next challenges that we have when I should just be celebrating it, enjoying it. What are the next challenges of where we go to here with crypto? But, we're going to start creeping our way up into those retracement levels, and that's where we're going to have to start really trying to solve the puzzle. But, when it comes to XRP, right, XRP has been doing its own little Wyckoff accumulation in here ever since that August 17th, August 18th liquidation that took place. It just shifted sideways in an accumulation range. You can see all the phases of Wyckoff in there. You could see the selling climax, a secondary test, selling climax, automatic rally, secondary test in phase B. Then you see the spring, and then now working on sign of strength to get our little bit of a breakout happening in here. So this morning we have seen XRP leave its range. So we do have more movement happening here in altcoins now. XRP is not the only one, but again, we've been watching this for some time. Finally, it gets its way out. We talked about this last week, and was that last week? It was Saturday, right? Saturday put out a 28-minute video on XRP, and I kind of joked yesterday. I'm like, hey, here's a 28-minute video on XRP where 20 minutes of it is about Bitcoin, and that the thing that was going to be important is getting Bitcoin to get out of its range. And sure enough, we get Bitcoin to get out of its range. We get XRP to get out of its range. And this week, we're already seeing some movement. Some early signs were showing up, like in things like Chainlink that was already getting to breakout. Solana was already shifting up, right? Chainlink's already escaped its range. You've seen other, we haven't seen everything really explode yet, but we're kind of seeing one by one some things starting to go, like Mina protocol. It just took back everything since March. So you just watched 7 months get taken back in one candle, with Mina Protocol shooting up about 100% already. And so that one's ranked about ranked 52 in coin market cap. We on this channel, we don't really like go deep down that list, especially not stuff beyond 100 where people are like, hey, find me that hidden gem that's got a $4 million market cap and no liquidity and gets pumped and dumped. We don't talk about that stuff, but usually stuff in the top 100 we'll kind of cover if something big is happening. The first one, right? And the time, imagine, trying to time that in waiting and waiting and waiting. But you could see that like once Bitcoin got its breakout, what happens? It goes and fires up 100%. And then we get XRP to go break through its range as well. We're seeing positive action in several places throughout the market. And so I think it's seeming like it's going to be kind of that here in the beginning, probably, is that one by one, you're going to see things start to take off. And the things to kind of be cautious about in moments like that, just from my experience of being in this market, what you have in the scenario currently right now is you have a lot of people who sat sidelined, right? And the market just took off without them. Do they go after Bitcoin? Well, there's percentage wise, if you just do the math, there's not a whole lot left there percentage wise. We're about 130% off the lows for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is only going into a retrace, like let's pretend it's going back to like a 618 or a 702 retracement, that means there's only about 50% more up for Bitcoin to get back there. Otherwise, you have to believe in the all-time high theory, right? But if you're just going back into a retracement, there's about 50%. We've already done 130, right? So people still screaming for 12K all the way up until this moment. Now it's time to kind of capitulate. If the percentages aren't there, what do they end up doing? They end up chasing yield. They chase further down the risk curve. And that's where you start seeing the altcoins pump. Problem is, like, to be mindful of is in things like this, when you see something like Mina pump 100%, it's great if you got in at the lows. But when you start taking shots at it and you buy the big green candle, that thing that you were scared of Bitcoin going from $25,000 to 23 or to 20, well, that's only, a 15% drop. These things can knock 30% off of themselves in just a matter of minutes when they are doing stuff like this. So we'll see a lot of chasing, but that's also what makes crypto exciting. I think that's why most people do come here, is for the degen aspect of crypto. Me personally, I don't come here for 15%. I don't come here to day trade 3% ranges and be like, caught that 3% move today. No, man, I'm here for the stuff like Cardano in 2021, the 10,000% rises. I'm aware of that insanity that takes place in crypto, and that's what has me attracted to it so much as well. But we're starting to see some stuff start to move, and that one-day candle just took back 7 months of price action in there. I will not be surprised to see that happen far more often throughout the cryptocurrency market in the coming days, now that we have Bitcoin escaping its range. So exciting to see that. Hard to put it in words, man. It was a long journey. This was a tough one. Even that, we just kind of ran out of things to talk about. We're still showing up to markets in the morning every day, still having this is the idea. But it became a point. How many times can you say that in a video? This is the idea. This is where we're going. How do I vomit new words and make it sound any different with a new video? But now that we're out of there, we finally have more things to talk about and things to look forward to. And there's a whole lots of different discussions we can have. So expect the videos to pick up quite a bit more now too. Now that we actually have things to talk about as a 7-month range does get exited. So there you go. XRP escapes Wyckoff. There you go. This has just been a long wait to finally get out of there. It took 2 months. There we go. As for the stock market's having an up day to kickstart the day. Coinbase is just crushing it. Up 12.5% today for Coinbase. Roblox, ARK, GE all killing it, over 4%. Only one down today is Apple, down 0.09%. This is pretty cool. You might see these blocks all over Twitter a lot, and TXMC finally pointed me to the right place to look at this, but we can look at the heat sector of the market as the market gets kicked off. Let me refresh this over here. Hold on. Do you want to work? No, you don't want to work. Okay. It's not wanting to work today. Anyway, that's FinViz, FINVIZ.com. Maybe that only updates at the end of the day. I don't know. I'm new to it. So there you go. You just watched a dingus move live in front of 3,000 people. 3,000 people. We got 892 likes. If you guys could support the channel and hit the like button, I appreciate it. All right, so let's run through it again real quick. Bitcoin following right on schedule, as it should be. The most bizarre thing in the whole world. Of course, in the coming days and weeks, we'll be keeping our eyes on that as well. So be prepared for that. I don't know. I don't know if we'll stop right there, but if it continues like that, that's where it would, right? So we'll see if we'll keep a close eye on that. This was just absolutely phenomenal to finally get our breakout happening in here for Bitcoin. XRP finally breaking, stock market up, DXY pulled down yesterday, pulling back up today, but stock market not carrying. Stock market still ripping to the upside this morning with the NASDAQ up 0.8%, the S&P up 0.69%, and the Dow Jones up 0.65%. Ones that are taking a little bit of a hit would be metals. So not too drastically, but they are taking a little bit of a hit. You could see gold is down to 1963. If you remember last week, we closed at 1980. So we started this week at 1980. We're at 1963. It's down $17 after 2 weeks of killing it, of over $100 up. Nothing much there. The dominance. This is the safety trade dominance. I did make a move after we had the breakout in Bitcoin yesterday evening. I did go ahead and sell a little bit of my Bitcoin and do a rotation into various altcoins that I have been monitoring, that I've been looking at developer data on and following very closely. I did take a shot at them. Not many of them have panned out yet. Of course, we're only 14 hours into that moment. It's actually been 12 hours since I've done it. The only one that has panned out was Mina. And so Mina up 100% to say, oh, the only one I've made 100% on in 24 hours, in 12 hours is Mina. But I'm saying that I'm not saying this is something to grab now, because that's a dangerous candle now that has actually happened. But going through the updated developer reports that had come out, this was one of the ones that was being pointed at for developer data. Other things that I put some of my Bitcoin into would have been Cardano. I'm not going to name all of them because I'm just going to name a few. I did put some into Hedera. Those will be just the three I named for today. Hedera, Cardano, and Mina. But that's a 100% candle. If you even think about buying that, you're the craziest person in the world. It's super, super danger to buy something that looks like that. But at the end of the day, I kind of have an idea of how far we are into this thing at this point. And I think we're at the verge of excitement. And so when I make decisions like that, where I'm going to rotate some of my Bitcoin, it's because I have my own bias of this market. My bias is that Bitcoin won't do anything more than retrace. So retracements, if you get to $50,000, that's still less than a 50% rise. This channel, if you're riding along with this, if you saw the things that you saw, we've already caught the bulk of the move. We've caught the 130% rise in Bitcoin. The latecomers are going to be buying it now. But that's how it has to work, right? That's unfortunately the way markets work. You have to climb a wall of worry. And then once it becomes obvious to everybody, that's where they're going to get in. Right now, the thing that people are focused on is going to be Bitcoin. They're going to be taking poops over there on the altcoins, and that's where it's finally okay, now that everybody finally believes that Bitcoin's going to the moon, we'll start doing a little bit of rotational action happening in here. So I did rotate a small portion of my Bitcoin over there into various altcoins, and let's go. Let's degen this market for as long as we can. Nothing changes in regards to the worry of the stock market and how long this thing could last. Remember, exciting periods of markets, especially the crypto market, the exciting period of the crypto market can be short. It can be weeks. It can be a couple of months. But it is never, never long, right? It's never a year. It's never like things just rock and roll for a whole year and, everything's easy peasy for a whole year as we slow and steady climb. It's marked by extreme periods of euphoria followed by terror and torture. And so right now we're entering into it. And I posted this over there on x.com yesterday. I'm going to quote myself here really quick. This is the psychological level where sentiment shifts from doom to moon. Welcome to a new dawn. And when I went through all of my emotional log stuff last Friday, we specifically talked about how this level is where all the sentiment will shift. And I sincerely believe that is what's going to happen. I believe that we could see it in the chat, and it's great because we're excited. We won, right? So there's a reason why people would be excited in this chat. We just toughed it out through all the naysayers, right? All the naysayers screaming that we're going to 12K or 23K or 20K or 16K, whatever. We beat them. So there's a little bit of celebration to be right in here. But you're going to see that throughout the whole market. And when people are no longer scared, the money just gets flooded through the market until some event happens and we pull back down. But it's for another day. I'm getting ahead of myself. If you could see the way I work, to understand how I work, right? I come in here, I'm like, we're good. We get really high. I'm like, okay, now we got to start thinking about where's tops going to come in, where are peaks going to come in, and start worrying about that kind of stuff, right? Because what we're going to go try to find a top of a upper range boundary, and so that's what today's video is really going to be about, is like trying to say where can that upper range boundary come in for Bitcoin. We can't use this as an example. Why can't we use it as an example? Because we just haven't, like, it's not like this thing literally matches on top of Bitcoin from 2016. If we laid this here on top of it, right, that we're not exact, right? Like our timing is exact, our price structure is exact, but it's not telling us that, hey, this is going to stop here at 43K. It's just not what it's saying. So we're going to have to go through a lot of different stuff to try to figure that out. And that's now my next phase, right? Getting through the naysayers, getting to the breakout. We've got the breakout of the upper range. And now here we go, where we go into and what's going to happen in the market of euphoria. Things that would, things that we have talked about in the past to kind of keep, let's get something on the screen. How about you? Can I mess with you? Yeah. By the way, I believe the Bears are going to get left behind in epic fashion, and they sure did. Okay. The things to look for, right, in this market is if we start seeing the altcoins rock and roll. If the altcoins are really rocking as we get back in here, and especially if we see a divergence. So I had somebody text me and say, hey, what are you looking for, to kind of get really worried. The thing I'm hoping for that shows up in this market to give like a really big clue to say this is the end would be things that we historically see in moments kind of like this, or even at the peak, but we see them really clearly. And things like that would be a move, consolidation, you set a new low, and then you kind of retrace. So if we see the altcoins rally into this moment as you get back in here, and I'm not certain we're going to get this high. We'll talk about that in today's videos. There's a lot of resistances before we get up to here. But the thing that would be unique, if we do see altcoins break out, if you see something silly where some altcoins are going into new all-time highs or something like that, and it's happening in this moment, that's giving a very clear indication that Bitcoin's not going to set a new all-time high. Because in, like we've been talking about with 2016, or like we're talking about over there in 2020, 2021, when in this market, if you're going into a new bull run, nothing should be happening with these altcoins of significance until you break into a new all-time high. If the altcoins are going euphoric into a moment like this right here, that's a very concerning sign, because it would be saying, hey, we're doing like the retrace style. We're doing the retrace style of like an alt season happening in here. So if altcoins are going nuts right here, that would be very concerning. And then there'll be one signature in particular that I'll be looking for. I'm gonna change this color so we can kind of just like visualize it. Is that if the altcoin market goes with it, maybe comes up a little bit delayed, and then there's this divergence here. This is where the obvious thing of problems would be showing itself, and that would be if Bitcoin finds a resistance. Notice that Bitcoin sets this lower low in here, and not necessarily that it does set a lower low, but that there is a lower high happening, and the altcoin market continues firing to the upside, and we see euphoria in it. That's been the mark of the peak of the altcoin market every time, is that the altcoin market will continue going while Bitcoin is not going. And so this divergence is the signature, is that if you have altcoins look like that, and you have Bitcoin looking like that, where Bitcoin does not set the new high, but the altcoins are. That's the signature. And so that's the thing I'll be looking for in particular as we get back in here. And the closer we get, the more we can look for that. And that's going to be really more of the telltale sign for me on Bitcoin going into a retracement versus Bitcoin going into an all-time high. If the altcoins are going bonkers in here, no questions asked. I'll have everybody in the world screaming at me, which I promise they will, because I've been through peaks before. I know how the sentiment reacts. And like a lot of here's what will happen, right? So you have the latecomers that got sidelined by the market. They now are going to start re-entering into the market. But then what's going to happen is the market participants who left entirely during the Luna collapses, like they've just been gone, right? This market practically turned into a ghost town, right? The people who did stay, the ones who were looking for lower prices and did think it was going to go lower, they were actually bulls, right? Those were bulls. They just wanted to buy lower prices because of all the washing machining that had happened in here. But the people who truly abandoned the market, these guys now having to capitulate back into the market, but all these guys who left, they're going to come in here and buy. Then we're going to have content creation because this is just how the market works. You're going to have lots of YouTube videos. You're going to have everything. The content creation, it's like news media. You call the media fake news, right? But the reality is they're incentivized to do it. You're going to get more views, right? Cointelegraph just came out and said, if you're not first, you're last, right? It's the same way with news, crypto content, that you have to make content that is tailored towards euphoria. You have to sell the dream. And so when all these new people pour back into the market, they're not going to come back in here and watch content that's telling them, hey, this is the end. They're like, no, you're so wrong. I just bought back in. And just be mindful of it, which will mean we'll likely see people fight against the idea that this could be a peak. But we do have signals to look for. Two of those signals are going to be the technology sector of the stock market. So we'll be watching that over the course of the next weeks and months. And then I can just get rid of all of this. And then we'll be watching for a divergence to emerge there between the altcoin market and Bitcoin. Right now, there's no such thing as a divergence right now. It's not even close. If anything, the altcoins have to catch up to Bitcoin. But that's something we'd be looking for to give us a clue to answer Craig's question right out the gates, where he says, hey, BCB, I appreciate the content as always. Has the recent Bitcoin price action changed your expectations for Bitcoin going into retracements versus new all-time high? No, it has not changed it at all. We stayed strong through all of this, right? Retracements, right? We haven't even gotten to the second retracement, right? The only time where I'm going to start questioning it is once we get in here, right? If we get in here, if we get back to these price levels, it's like, okay, now we're here, right? Now, everybody do what you want to do, right? I personally am going to take some stuff off the table, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let the market tell me what's going to happen next. My conviction has been we go back to retracements, right? The whole time. That's been the conviction. We go back to the retracements. When we get there, the market's going to have to tell us next. And I sincerely believe that's going to have to come from the stock market, right? And right now, we don't have any clues from the stock market saying we're going into a raging bull. But we do know that the technology sector of the NASDAQ has already gotten back here. So if anything, and it had this occur in here. So if anything, we're just kind of playing catch up right now. And it's going to be watching about what does technology do? What does the stock market do? And will we continue with that? And I think there are concerning things over there in the stock market to question whether or not there's going to be some raging bull run that happens. And there's no historical data to indicate that Bitcoin would do something different than tech or different from the stock market. I understand that is met with criticism. I understand that there will be people who say, no, this is money. This is 21 million. It's decentralized. It's sound volcano stuff. But that and a phoenix rising from the ashes. But there's no historical context to believe that to be true. You would have to be taking a complete blind shot in the dark. So those are things we'll be looking for. One, we're going to be watching tech. to looking for divergence between the altcoin market and Bitcoin, and of course, getting back to those retracement levels. And there's several of them on the way up. So we'll be talking about that in today's video. Today, of course, it's just a day of celebration. Man, we did it. We were right the whole time. The haters hate. We win. Let's go. But now, after we just kind of let today be our celebration day, we get back to business. We get back to saying, well, now what, right? Where to next? Because another range will form. Another boundary will be set. We'll see up and down price action. 20% falls. Those will happen again in a new range. And we'll just we'll take it as it comes. And we're going to try to isolate those and identify those in today's video. So otherwise, excellent start to the day. Excellent breakout that happened last night. We watched it in markets in the morning. I hate to say time stuff, but hinting like it should be now. And once we got through the top of that range, we did see the liquidations of Bitcoin shorts began. And the phenomenal thing, of course, is just to see the price sustain itself. Prices have absolutely been able to hold upon that breakout. So not a fall back in, but definitely hold and hold with strength. Right, it's not like it held and it came back and it's just waffling down. We got out and we've been holding very nicely. So again, that's kind of what that one looked like. It was just a lot of chop went on for a couple of weeks afterwards. I don't know if we're going to do that. This wouldn't be that. This wouldn't be like that. Also, when we look at NDXT, that's not what happened. It just kind of kept marching. At this point, this was the breakout. This was the big move over there in tech that took it all the way back to retracement levels. So again, we'll talk about that today in a video. But it's very exciting. But I still stick to my guns on being that this isn't the start of a major bull run for Bitcoin until Bitcoin proves it, and it hasn't proved it yet. But it's definitely exciting. I don't know how to do this without being like the buzz killer, right? We went through this whole thing, right? It's playing out exactly as expected. But of course, with those expectations, I had already thought way ahead of time, okay, then what are the things that we start looking towards? And these are the things we start looking towards, like the next concerns. So otherwise, there's still a ways to go up in here. I think my first really big worry of concern is going to be closer to that 38K. And I'll try to identify that in today's video, but then we'll talk about the other stuff to shift our way higher. But really the sign that the market is in big trouble historically has been once the divergence between Bitcoin and the altcoin market does happen, where Bitcoin is really showing weakness, and then we see euphoria in markets. And signs to look for is not only shooting up asset prices, but meme coins, right? When meme coins come back, when crazy degen stuff is happening, and everybody's making bukus of dollars, and it seems really easy. Once it's like, hey, I just throw $100 into Uniswap, into my MetaMask, and then I connect it to Uniswap, and then I turn $100 into $2,000 in 3 days on some, made up meme coin. That means we're living in the end. We're living in that last moment of time. And once we get there, we'll identify that, we'll talk about it and address it. But those will be kind of the signs we're looking for. So we'll have things we're looking for on the charts, but then we'll also have that irresponsible, extreme risk taking that is the signature of the end of the move. Right now, we're not. Right now, it's more like the bears in disbelief, feeling like they have to kind of capitulate back in, that the 12K theory has been wrong. Then it starts, the excitement kicks in, the euphoria kicks in, this time is different kicks in, and then finally we see the ending blow-off divergence between altcoins and Bitcoin. And we're nowhere near there. So it's just a huge marker of excitement happening right now. So we made it. We made it. And congrats to those who stuck by. I know a lot of you are quiet. You're lurkers. You don't say anything, but you were here the whole time. Thank you for being here. I forget what I was going to say. I had something nice to say. It was a tough time to go through that. I hope you can kind of understand now. I don't like coming on here and being like a jerk. I was kind of a jerk about the 12K, the 23K, and the 20K stuff. But my conviction was very strong. And it was one of those things where I knew it was the emotions acting in the market. And I really wanted to like just wake people up to stop thinking with your emotions in this moment. And I understand probably came off rude a couple of times on that. And the intention was just to wake people up from the emotional drunkenness that was going on down in here. But as you could see, that this wasn't the time to, when you have a liquidation like that in the crashing structure, it was time to shoot back to the upside. And we toughed it out. That was a rough 2 months. It feels good to be out of it. But we're beyond that. You're not going to hear me talking about 12Kers anymore because they're not going to be around anymore. They're done. This is now where the market gets exciting. This is where we can see stuff like what we just saw yesterday happen over again, where you could see another 3K day, $3,000, $5,000 day in Bitcoin. You could see that kind of stuff start to happen. See Ethereum shoot up $400 or something in a day, right? See XRP shoot up 15 cents or something in a day. We're kind of in that time where a lot of the excitement in the market can happen, and I'm excited that we're here. And I'm glad you're all here, and we made it through that storm. So, okay, this phase is beyond us, guys. Say goodbye to it. We're out. So, all right, there you go. XRP escaped its range, 2 month range that it got stuck in, Wyckoff accumulation that we showed, and then now you're out. There we go. This has been the thing we've been watching for months. Good for us. As for the stock market, as today kicks off and continues going, the Dow's now up 0.75%, 0.75, NASDAQ up 0.74, and S&P up 0.69, with Coinbase leading the way up 15% this morning for Coinbase, followed by Roblox and ARK. But of course, Coinbase, the big story because crypto broke out, right? And that gives you a little sign too that this move for Bitcoin was not just a blow off top, but more, this was a breakout. And there you go. You're seeing it emerge over there in Coinbase too. So exciting time. We'll run through the news here really quick, but I don't know how much who cares, right? GM tops Q3 expectation, but pulls full year guidance due to mounting UAW strike costs. Coca-Cola earnings are out. Here are the numbers. Okay, cool. Israel stuff. Z makes unprecedented central bank visit. Bonds rebound as stock traders await tech earnings. Deficit doubling. Let's see if that thing's updated yet, the heat map. Yes, the heat map is updated now. There's your heat map. Healthcare is up today. Tech is up. I mean, we got a big day. Semiconductors, communication services, Apple's down slightly for some reason. Energy is really the sector that is down today. Oil and gas and energy are the ones that are down today. Otherwise, mostly up everywhere. Just oil and gas and energy is what's down today. Okay. Who cares? I don't think there's any news that anybody cares about. That's what was so great about this move, is this was not a news-induced pump. This was a technical breakout, right? And so we got to watch that happen for so long, and then we get the breakout, and there's no narrative to go with it, which solidifies just the broader trend of where things are heading to now, and trying to find the resistances. And, we'll talk all about that stuff today. So congratulations to everybody. I don't know what, on a day like today, what people would expect to come on here and just be like a moon boy. That's not really what we do. I'm more of a moon boy at the bottom than upon breakouts. I'm sure I'm excited because it means it was all correct and it was right, and it's validating. But there's going to be more work to do. Right? The job is not done until the sell button is pressed and the money is exited out of the market. That's when the job is truly done. But we are seeing movements over there in altcoins, and we have seen a couple of them have big moves this week. And today the big one is Mina. So, all right, let's go ahead and hop into the chat, guys. Congrats on making it to this point. We got 3,500 people in here. Must be a decent day in the market. But all right, Craig, thank you for that super chat. No, I think I kind of answered your question. No expectations of all-time high. The expectations remain the same. You get to retracements. It's like with anything. We get to retracements, and then upon hitting retracements, that's where let the market dictate what's going to happen next. Retracements is still what I've said all of 2022, all of 2023. Let's get to the retracements. That makes me right for the whole thing. Then beyond that, the market can decide, and I'm not going to sit here and be the one to say, oh, the market's definitely going to break through the retracement levels there. Nope. There's the concerns because you have the stock market at the same time. But those retracements are still a ways away. And when you watch today's video, you'll see why I still think we're heading up there. Michael J. Love. Hit the freaking like button. It's free XRP back. Well, it is not free XRP back if you hit the like button, but it is, of course, absolutely appreciated and a wonderful way to support the channel. Mark Allaire says, not financial advice, but if you're looking for a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, the blockchain backers got your back. Thanks for keeping me sane during the bear. Let's hope this is the beginning. I think, yeah, and don't get it confused where I'm sitting here saying the concerns. That's just the way my mind works. Like, where's the next resistance level? Where's the next range boundary? Do not get that mixed. My bias is what happened yesterday is the beginning of a ridiculous amount of excitement coming to this market. A ridiculous amount happening here in these next couple of weeks. Whether that stretches out into months, we'll take it as it comes. But the significance of the move that happened yesterday and the breakout that happened yesterday was huge. And Hugs Capital 2 in the chat says fake pump. That poor guy got left behind. So whenever he comes in and buys, we all know, out. Thank you, Mark Allaire. Philip Mann gifts a BCB membership. Thank you, Philip. M. Stolovic said, thanks for talking us through the emotional log from 2016. It was spot on, and it really opened up my eyes. I've started with one myself now as well. Yeah, I hope that was pretty cool for you guys to see, because we did just go through it on Friday. I went reading through the emotional log and showed what it was like in 2018 when this moment broke. So for anybody who has been keeping an emotional log, I bet today is the start of a new different type of writing that is happening in your log, as that was the retail level of emotional change. And I tried to show this was where it all changed for me in 2019. So my prediction was we will see a massive sentiment shift upon that break there of 32,000. And I think we have. Boy, we got a lot today. See if I can catch up here. Gator gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you very much, Gator. You guys went on a little spree there. XP Market gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you, 702 crew, followed by Oscar 702, my man, gifted 5 BCB memberships. You guys are very generous. If your name has flipped to green in here, it means you're now a member of the channel. We do a members only live stream once a month. So I guess we got to get in this week. Maybe we'll get it in tomorrow. And, you know, you have access to emojis and you got the little arrow next to your name and stuff. So thank whoever gifts it to you. The guys in this chat are very generous. They gift them out a lot. Big D says 112K. Just kidding. LJ says simply brilliant BCB. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, LJ. Man, Manier hell with the big hundo bomb dropped. It says top of the morning BCB. Munir, thank you, man. Very generous. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Holla at Munir, man. Thank you. Chris, member for 5 months, says BCB, the GOAT. I just want to say thank you. You're an inspiration and a good man. Much love, brother. Thank you, Chris. And thanks for the 5 months of support, man. And then Chris gifts 5 BCB memberships out. Thank you, Chris. Awesome. Oscar Hernandez says, hit the like button, share it, and then show some love with the super chat. Thank you, Oscar. Everyday supporter, Oscar Hernandez, probably the most famous guy of the blockchain backer live streams is Oscar. Daniel Delgado, how about the Texas Rangers? Let's go. Man, I don't know who's going to win tonight between Arizona and Philadelphia. I didn't know who was going to win last night between Texas and Houston. Both in game 7s. You know, the momentum swing that has happened over there in Philadelphia and Arizona. Arizona has really come back. I thought Philadelphia would stomp Arizona, but they're not. That could go either way. But the Rangers look dominant. Dominant. If I had to pick, if Philadelphia does go, which is my favorite over Arizona, I think the Rangers will win it all. Fooch says, do you still hold on to XRPL NFTs? or do you sell them before the bull run? No, I still have like almost all of them. There were some of them that I got stupid with, where like I, originally bought one, and that's like when I made content and stuff. Then over time, I like loaded up on some of them. Some of them I got up to like 30 or 40 of them, and then like reduced those back down. But definitely, any NFTs that I've ever bought, yeah, I still have them. The only ones that like I got a little carried away at one point, and I had to like pull back from that, from my carried awayness that I got at one point, where on some of them I bought like dozens of them, and then like cut back on some of those. But yeah, otherwise I still hold all my XRP NFTs, and if they go to zero, they go to zero, man. I'm just happy to support the community and support the building on the XRP ledger. So. Michael Rolling with a 20 bomb. No message, no nothing, but Michael, thank you very much. One Rough Weekend with the super sticker. Thank you very much. Critical hit. Thank you very much. Alpha Trader Inc. says next phase, start looking at inverted charts. Okay, we'll take a look at them. And thank you very much, Alpha Trader. Andy Philpott with the gifts of BCB membership. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And whoever got it should appreciate it too. Make sure you thank Andy. Mark Brown says, hey, BCB, are here, been here since the start and I'm still here. Do you think we could have a repeat of 2017 and 2018 where XRP moons within a month, or will it be slower? All price action for XRP has historically been ridiculously fast. It's how I would expect it to be when it does eventually happen. Really silly fast. Probably a narrative attached to it. And, the only reason people will buy it at $5 or $10 is because there's going to be content made that it's going to $500. And the narrative with it will be so good. And it'll happen so fast, they'll think they'll get left behind if they don't do it. And there'll be 100 videos out there a day saying the Fed is going to buy it back from you, so you have to buy it for $10, so the Fed buys it back from you for $10,000 and all that stuff. Yeah, but I have no reason to believe it wouldn't be ridiculously fast like it has every single time. It will likely be, if you look at how XRP has happened historically, if you were to sell the top, like literal top, I would imagine it would be one day. Shoots up the last 100% in one day and then falls back 40% that exact same day. And that moment in time of the top could last only hours whenever it does end up happening. Thank you, Mark. Riaz Hell says, I am confused. Don't roast me, but how does Bitcoin climb up and it's so close to retracement to 72, but it's still less than $1? Well, we're not really close. We haven't even gotten through the second retracement yet. Here, we'll take it off log scale. That's where you are. Let's take the visuals off. There's Bitcoin. Right? The thing that retail doesn't do is play with percentages, right? So the visualization, you see what I'm saying? We're just nowhere near it. Right. But this was the breakout, right? So this was the thing. We're in a range for a long time. We just got that breakout. Now it's time to see the altcoins start getting some momentum. So that's what this market has been waiting on. And all of XRP's action, all the news that's happened has been stuck because of this range. We just left the range. So now it's actually time to get interested and to see what is XRP capable of now that Bitcoin has signaled we're moving up. That should be exciting. And just having that understanding and not like, I can't stress it enough. The narratives that are spilled out there are mostly nonsense out there. And to just find that correlation of how XRP moves with the market and the significance of this move that happened here for Bitcoin. Like I put out a 28-minute video over the weekend for XRP and most of it being like, look, you got to look to Bitcoin and talking all about this. Now Bitcoin's giving it to us. So now let's go. Let's waiting for that moment for now. The sentiment of the market has changed. Degen, irrational, irresponsible, euphoric candle chasing behavior can start now. People are willing to act that way because the fear of breaking down to new lows has subsided. So now their fear is this market will actually go up and get carried away without them. So and one thing to know is Bitcoin could get all the way up here, and then XRP does its entire bull run in 2 weeks, right? If you don't know this, this whole bull run right here, that's 23 days total. 23 days. That entire bull run where it goes from 20 cents to $3.30. That's 23 days long. And that also doesn't happen, right? Bitcoin goes away without it, and then it just becomes a rotational shift period in the market, and then XRP goes. If this isn't in the back of your mind as being a possibility, or if it's in any way in your mind that you think XRP is just going to grind up and make you emotionally feel okay the whole way up, it is not. You are going to get tortured the whole way up. And historically, when it happens, it's not long. It lasts weeks and absolutely or days. And nothing about the price behavior of XRP has changed to say any differently that when price moves up, it happens suddenly, rapidly, and then it's almost over. And you can see that with every move. That's a 200% increase in price. Price tripled here, right? Here you go from 57 to 2. This is a tripling in price, right? It goes from 50 cents to $2. This one here is a doubling in price in last one day. There is nothing in here indicating that it will be a just gradual, gentle climb that just keeps up with Bitcoin, because it's never behaved like that ever before. It has always been, we go rapidly. There's some narrative, some conspiracy theory attached to it, and that's it. So definitely, if you want to have your expectations set in reality of historical behavior of XRP, lots of torture, lots of pain, and then sudden blasts of euphoria, and narrative building, and this time is different and all that kind of stuff. So you just have to understand bull runs for XRP are typically always straight up. And the last major run that we had was 23 days where price went up 15x. So, right. And it was late for Bitcoin. And so that's very possible. Bitcoin gets all the way back to retracements, and then XRP has a 23-day bull run, and that's it. And it's over. That's it. Jaxer says, stay alert, everybody. Don't get over emotional. Stick to your plan. Hit the like button. And thank you for all the BCB community is the best on the net. Thank you very much, Jaxer. Jim Elliott, what is the best way to get money off of an exchange? I noticed that all big names have limits, assuming someone makes gazillions. Ideas? Yeah, so have multiple exchanges that you trust. I'm not going to recommend any of them. That's up to you to find them. But you can also, I believe you can contact them ahead of time as well to get those limits improved. So having multiple off ramps and then contacting them ahead of time, right? If they've seen that you now if you have $3,000 and you think you're going to be cashing out 5 million and that's going to be your problem, your expectations might be wrong. But if you've bought, if you made a $100,000 purchase on Coinbase or something like that, and your limit to get off the exchange is 15,000 or something like that, you could probably email them and say, hey, look, you can clearly see I put a whole lot more money on there. That's not enough. And they could try to bump up your limits. But also, if you've never tried pulling money off of an exchange, it's worth it to try it, even if you do it with a small amount, just to go through the process of it and understand how to do it. Even if it's $10 or something, you know what I mean? Eric Martinson gifted 5 BCB memberships. Eric, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Alejandro, what about Ethereum? Yeah, Ethereum retracement as well. See Ethereum at 1850. Ethereum was up to 1850 this morning. So Ethereum working its way back. So Ethereum has taken out its 2-month range here with this move as well. So we'll see if Ethereum can get more juice and leave the whole range, right? Wyckoff accumulation schematic. What is this? Last point of support. Let's go find it. Right. We know it to not be. We know it to not be schematic 1. Right? Unless there's some surprise that would shoot it down here now, but we are so far beyond that, it seems incredibly unlikely. Schematic 1 would have given us spring phase. Let's go get schematic 2. There's schematic 2. So waiting to get the sign of strength phase, right? So this would be our last point of support. That's what we would get, right? Kind of like a B, C, as you can see, A, B, C. And waiting for it to gain a little bit of steam. Again, it's going to be one of those things, watching it back into these retracement levels in here, 3K or 4K. We'll talk about those in a video of its own. But as of right now, it's still trying to escape the schematics. This week, we did see Chainlink break from its. Chainlink did have the spring schematic, which is schematic 1. Again, we talk about these schematics in here as I teach you on bcbacker.com. There is a whole section in here dedicated to Wyckoff accumulation. We're talking all about these different schematics. Where are you? Have so many tabs open. There you go. But yeah, it's pretty much just waiting for the end to come. Waiting for the breakout. Sick Thinker gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you very much, Sick Thinker, man. We got 702 crew. Really hooking it up, guys. Oh, there you go. You guys, links, yeah. Let me link it. Here you go. I know everybody wants trade calls. That's not what I'm here to do. But what I can do is give you the tools to go fishing on your own. So there's the link in there. Again, this is like the best way to support the channel. I've tried to give you value for supporting the channel in the form of more content by me. You can check that one out. There's a link that is posted in the chat currently right now. Okay. Thank you, Sick Thinker. I appreciate it, man. 5 BCB memberships. Baby Oscar Hernandez. Let's go. I only have one thing to say today. Goo goo gaga. Thank you very much, Baby Oscar Hernandez. Alpha Trader Inc. Imagine your engagement farming topics becoming reality. Which ones am I getting accused of engagement farming? I don't even remember which one it was. What, just saying the stock market's going to fall? Is that my engagement farming? I can't remember. I'm sure this got accused of being engagement farming too. Say, don't you know we're going to 12K? Okay. Crypto XRP. What if alts are quiet with Bitcoin to 45K? BTD. It doesn't matter. As long as Bitcoin's moving up, you should be bullish on the altcoin market. That's my thoughts. Crypto Pigeon. Yo, BCB. Guess who's been irresponsibly long since 51 cents? Let's go. Oh, no, Crypto Pigeon. But I guess that's probably with leverage. And the BCB channel does not support leverage trading. But good for you, Crypto Pigeon. Super Chad said, yes, I paid to ask you to fix the will it continue typo on the Bitfinex Bitcoin price chart because it bothers me more than it should. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll do it live. Now you have to hit the like button. There you go. Thank you, Super Chat. George Alexanderopoulos. BCB and the 702 crew, LFG, the haters and 12Kers can, yeah, what a grind it has been to get to this point. But man, this channel has kept me going. Thank you very much, George. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Max Wilson says, thanks for being so consistent with your analysis. Can you take a quick look at Bitcoin D? How high can it go? Where's the resistance? I sold some of my Bitcoin. I'm not worried about it. The majority of this is flowing out of Bitcoin, right? So the safety trade hasn't changed. I don't think this thing is going to rampage for forever. But for me, it's finally time. I on that breakout at 34K. I went ahead and sold about 20% of my Bitcoin, and went ahead and rotated that. So it's finally time where I'm going to start deploying my Bitcoin. Every $5,000 up Bitcoin goes, I'm selling 20% of it. So either way, waiting for that thing. I think majority of this is Ethereum. Max Wilson, thanks for being so consistent. Okay, there you go. Puneet Giuliani, hey BCB. And plus, man, it's so temporary. Who cares? The percentages on Bitcoin, what are you really chasing? That's what you got to say to yourself. If you aren't doing percentages, if you were a 12K, I'm just going to say this to anything. I'm not saying this to you, Puneet. Anybody, if you were a 12K doomer and you're YOLOing back into Bitcoin, you are very, very, very bad at math. That's all I'm going to say. This is not the game for you. If your strategy is to go around and watch YouTubers and have them tell you your trade calls, and you bought and you just kind of got washing machine to all of 2022 and 2023 in this range, and then you sold the bottom wanting 12K because you were being told it's going to 23K or 20K or 16K or 12K, and now it's going up and you're buying it after the breakout of the range. Where are you targeting? We're up 130% off the lows. Just to get back to the 702 retracements, 50% more. That's it. That's all that's left in Bitcoin to get back to retracements. There's nothing left. Nothing. This market's going to turn into an altcoin market at this point. That's why you see stuff like this happening in one day. Good luck timing. This is how fast it can get away from you on stuff. It can get away this fast. And this causes people to FOMO back in after a 100% pump. That is 7 months of price action wiped out in one candle. And that can absolutely happen in this market to various altcoins. Good luck having that happen with Bitcoin. This is why I'm hated by Bitcoin maximalists. I understand this. I understand the price action. I did not buy into the 2019 BS. I understood the price action of Bitcoin. Pisses them off more than anything, just like getting the top. And I got the bottom. Hello? We got the bottom of Bitcoin. How many people told you don't fight the Fed? Uh-oh. Spicy dude showing up. Do not buy into... I don't... You do whatever you want. I'm not buying into the Bitcoin stuff. If anything, I'm starting to unload my Bitcoin. Max Wilson asked about Bitcoin dominance. It just depends how much of it is going to outflow from Ethereum. If Ethereum is completing this, that Bitcoin dominance trade's over. Right? Because all the majority of this is the washing machine between Bitcoin and Ethereum. No, we still have not taken out the June highs. Right? This is a 702 retracement, just like you had back in here. These are all the same. Right? This moment right here was where the remainders of the altcoins went ballistic in here. That would be our next phase. And the second Ethereum gets out of here, which it's at that point where it can, that the entire thing is completed. You have every phase in here completed. Whether this waddles here for a little bit longer or goes ahead and gets out, like we're seeing over there with like Chainlink and Mina and stuff like that. That's it. No more Bitcoin D. But at the same time, it's just depending on Ethereum. This thing, it's not like they're swallowing big chunks of the market here. All this stuff is still just staying in here. So you're watching this index in itself, washing between itself. And the second this thing goes, that's over. Hey, BCP, is Bitcoin following Ethereum chart down to 3K? It might. For sure, it might. So that guard is not laid down at all. And we'll talk about that today, too. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. There we go. Cash Me Outside gifted 1 BCB membership. Thank you very much, Cash Me, part of the 702 crew. I appreciate it, man. Ellis Crypto says, I didn't share your sentiment. Now I'm a believer. Ella, you'll hate me again one day. Don't worry. Or Ellis, you'll hate me again one day. Thank you. First timer. I appreciate it. Smeet Knight, member, 1 month. I appreciate it. So one of the challenges, so if you are watching this channel and like you're like, okay, well, wait a minute, BCB kind of got this stuff right. So you have to understand I'm always going to be on the opposite side of sentiment, right? There's certain accounts out there who know how to tailor all their content towards particular sentiment at specific times. A lot of times my content is polar opposite of sentiment of the market. And that's because the herd gets wrong-footed. So you just kind of have to recognize, wait a minute, like 13 other channels are saying this, but BCB says the opposite. How dumb are you, BCB? You're going to have to understand it's like always like that on this channel, that I'm kind of always going to be on the opposite side of what's going on out there. So, you just accept that you say, all right, BCB is going to have a different view. I'll take that for a grain of salt or whatever. But that's consistent. That's just what it's always like on here. And, that's just what it is. Smeet Knight, member, welcome. Terrence Rafferty, we made it. What number do you see the top of the next range for XRP to get through? Well, the first thing I think we have to get to is 65 cents and to see if we have to build a range there. Again, whenever XRP does take off and just go, it'll be gone. But right, this range has been left. So what we would like to see, which, is range break, new range. That's what a normal chart would do. XRP sometimes does not do that. It will go in a straight line. So this is what normal behavior would be, is range break, build a new range break. And we'll see if we end up getting that. We got that kind of stuff on the way down. We'll see if we get that on the way up. But I think around the 65, 67 cents would be a resistance area. Skeleton, been a while, man. Gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Skeleton. Good to see you again. Wigmapool 182 BCB is simply the GOAT. Thank you, man. And long time subscriber there, man, and supporter. Thank you. The Stone with the super chat. Thank you very much. No message. Mr. Q, member for 5 months, says, many thanks for everything, BCB. 702 loves you. Let's get it. This is it. Show your daughter the big green candle. We're almost there, brother. 12K. Yeah. Well, we don't have it yet. I don't want to tease her. Every time I do it, she's young, so she has like a misconception of it. She's like, okay, so when you get that big green candle, you never have to work ever again. This is going to be great. And I'm kind of like, I'll still do BCB stuff. I won't stop. And she's like, oh, that disappointed, your child's disappointed. Oh, you're still going to have to work? We can't spend 24/7 together? And you're like, now I'm a bad dad. Yeah, so I don't want to tease her with the green candle until it's really there. Crypto Lolik says, your best live stream ever, mate. Respect. Thank you very much. Hey, how'd you guys like that DJing? Let's see if I can do it again. Yeah, I got it. I know. I got it. Kevin Smith, member for 4 months, says, just to let you know, dude, the impact of your education has led us to the first target, to opening a school for impoverished kids here in Cambodia. Dude, what? Just to let you know, dude, the impact of your education has led us to first target to opening a school for impoverished kids here in Cambodia. Man, let's go. take that, man. That's amazing, Kevin. You'll have to elaborate on that. Rocky Mountain Mystique, first timer, but with the super chat, no message. I appreciate it. Black, member for 3 months. God bless BCB and his family. Also, Pat and Oscar for always donating, as well as others. Glad to be here. Yeah, a lot of support here in this channel. Thank you to Black, 3 months. 42 pros. Time to play some Ice Cube. Today was a good day. Thanks for all the content, BCB. Understanding Candlesticks was my first BCB video in January of 2020. Man, is that video even out there anymore? Wow. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for the support and thanks for being around, man. Not Oscar Hernandez. Hey, good morning, Backer. This is just a check-in to remind you that I love you and I'm grateful for you. Thank you, not Oscar Hernandez, another famous personality in the chat. If you don't know, we have not Oscar Hernandez. We have Oscar Hernandez's like favorite waitress, or we have like Oscar Hernandez's favorite elementary school teacher, and we have baby Oscar Hernandez, not Oscar Hernandez, and not Oscar Hernandez, which I haven't seen not Oscar Hernandez in quite some time. So whoever you are, why don't you log into your alt account real quick and say what's up? But thank you, not Oscar Hernandez. Jonathan Nimbleton says, hey, BCB, with ETF deadline approval being January 10th, will you sell this announcement? I don't know. Like I always say, guys, I don't care about the ETF thing. It's a carrot dangled in your face. I don't know what the outcome of it will be, but I definitely put literally no weight on it. In my thesis of the market, it is a non-factor. And that's just from going through this all before. You guys got to realize this is a literally they went back and said, hey, where's that 2019 playbook that we used to have? Here, let's go pull that one out and let's do it exactly again to everybody. It's like exactly the same. So, and like, when did we start talking about it? I'm like, look, this is a carrot dangled in front of you. That's like 6 months ago I said that. Like, it's always going to be dangled in front of you. Right? And so here we are. It's not here. Now we're talking like, what, January or something? It's, just it's totally not relevant to me. And it's one of those things like, there has never been an investment vehicle introduced into crypto that didn't provide a reversal. Okay? Bitcoin futures, anything. Bitcoin inverse ETFs, short ETFs, even the Bitcoin short ETF introduced in June caused the reversal at the bottom. Right? And then the Bitcoin long ETF caused the reversal at the top, right? Like you guys realize that too, right? What was it? ProShares. Bitcoin ProShares BITO. Right. Here's the Bitcoin ProShares strategy ETF. Where is it released? The peak of the market. Market reverses. Is it BTI? Here's Bitcoin short. ProShares Trust short Bitcoin at the bottom of the market. market reverses, right? Because the Bitcoin goes up from here. So this is the end. But maybe we'll reference this too. I don't know if we'll remember to do this in today's video, but wow. So, any type of, and Bitcoin futures was released at the peak of the 2017 bull run. There has just not been the introduction of any type of these investment vehicles that have been positive. It's always caused reversals. So, yeah. I don't care about ETF in any positive way, and I don't view it as something to like be excited about. Oscar Hernandez, how are the dominance charts? We actually just went through those. Thank you, Oscar. Jay Smith, hey BCB, what do you think of the high RSI? I'm not worried about high RSI. We're going to eventually find a range height. And not only that, but you could pause here and RSI could reset during a whole move just like this, right? So I'm not sitting here thinking we have to fire up $5,000 today. This was the big breakout, right? That was the big breakout. Now it's time to give it some time to breathe. And we'll talk all about those things today. But yeah, you're definitely going to have likely some resetting happening in RSI, pausing out. And yeah, but anybody buying up here, that's your prerogative. But obviously the buy was here. 12K. Jack, member for 23 months, man, just one shy of 2 years. And hey, you are a bright light in a dark, dark bear market. I can't wait for crypto Twitter to be more positive again. Thank you for all you do, BCB. Yeah. Yep. We're almost there. We're almost there where all that positivity is. And just give it a couple of days. Everybody will be singing Kumbaya. And we'll see various things doing stuff like this, and everybody will be moon talking and cheering, and you'll see Twitter Spaces, and everybody's like holding hands and like, I'm so sorry I was so mean to you. That stuff will happen. But thank you, Jack. Sebastian says, BCB, at what point do you move funds off something like a ledger to an exchange when you plan on selling? Do you have orders set ahead of time? That's going to be a personal preference. I don't want to be responsible for you storing your assets on exchanges for a long period of time, then your exchange crashes. You told me to keep it on the exchange. You do it however you want to do it, depending on what assets. Some assets are quick. You can get them on really fast. Some of them are slow. They can take many hours. And it just depends on, if you're worried that the exchange is going to be down, like Coinbase was having some issues during that chaos where it shot to 35,000 yesterday. Coinbase was having some issues during that. Those historically do happen. Sometimes big moves can happen in a couple of hours. It's personal preference on how comfortable you are on keeping stuff on exchanges. I'm going to let that be something you kind of decide on your own. I don't want to have any role in what you choose to do with that. But thank you for the support, man. Julian Robbins. I'm sorry I'm late. I had a meeting. Happy pump day. Thank you, Julian. Brandon Hammond, what are your thoughts on Credible's theory? Well, me and Cred have always had the same theory that the market will go back up. Cred thinks we go to a new all-time high. I've been about retrace. But we've been like the only two who have thought the market's going to go up, right? So that's the thing that we've had consistent with each other. The difference is we have difference of opinions when it comes to the retracement levels, right? And that's really the only thing that's different between the two of us. We both think altcoins will pump. We both have different theories on how that's going to happen. My thoughts are we're going to top out into the retracement levels, and that's where we see altcoins go. He believes we'll see similar price action to what we've seen historically, which is consistent with 2017, 2018, consistent with 2017, and then consistent there with 2021. It's that it takes us breaking through the all-time high for the altcoins to pump, which is correct, right? That is what has been mandatory in 2017 and 2021. I have a different argument to that I'm concerned about stock market, right? That stock market has played the role into it. And I do have concerns that we're not going to get through retracement levels for Bitcoin because of this, and that yield chasing moment for altcoins will come sooner than expected. That's theory, right? We both just have theories, but the thing that we've both had consistent and is that the 12Kers are silly. The 12Kers are emotional. This market's moving back to the upside. And I have no problem with Cred having his theory on it going, thinking it's going to go higher. The market will dictate it, right? It doesn't matter. But the thing I like about Credible Crypto is that he has just remained consistent, and we've both kind of seen the same thing here, that this market's moving up right now, and it's not a time to be so much content that is so wishy-washy out there with zero alpha in it, pointing up, down, sideways. 12K, an impossible thing to happen. I like that he's been very consistent with his thought, and I've seen that. I've seen that the market has needed to move up. We just have different thoughts on all-time highs and retraces, right? And he has stuck with his ideas the whole time. that we pull all the way down and like we go to all-time highs. I've stuck consistent with my theories that we go all the way back up into retracements, right? And I'm not wavering on that. He's not wavering on his. It's just going to take us getting to the retracement. And then that's where the market's going to dictate itself, right? Simple as that. And then we'll find out from there. And the reality is I'm going to take action at retracements, right? I'm not going to sit here 100% in the market. I'm going to pull stuff out. I'm going to play defense there. And I would much rather this market continue higher for the sake of everybody. I mean, the benefits of the market continuing higher are that, one, everybody makes a boatload more money. The market is way more exciting. There's a whole lot more to talk about on this YouTube channel. And it's not gloomy and doomy end of the world stuff. That's all positive. So don't think I'm cheering against that. I would love for that to be the case. It would really suck to come on here and the world is crumbling and some horrible catalyst has happened out there in markets and broader markets are crashing. Crypto goes with it. Bitcoin's tumbling. That is not going to be fun. We're going to lose so much interest in this market. That's not, I don't look forward to that. I would rather be massively wrong on what happens at the retracement levels. And like I say, this thing is still following this 2016 thing. So me and Cred might both be wrong. We might both have the right idea that the market has been moving up, but we might both be wrong in the idea that, hey, it's just going to keep grinding like 2016 and that it's just going to keep going and going and going and going. Both had the right idea that the market's moving up. The 12K was silly. The breaking down into new lows, silly. We both had that same idea. We both thought the thing was marching up. But if this ends up being the case, right? If 2016 ends up being the case, we'll both kind of have it wrong, right? We'll both be right that it went up, but our thoughts on how we'd get there would be different, right? So because like if this happens right here, you just had a 200-day range, we would be entering another 200-day range right here. Who's ready for that? Who's ready for that excitement? For 200 more days of that once again. So that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, I got nothing wrong with Cred. I've always appreciated that he has been seeing the same things I've seen in regards to bull. There's a lot of content out there that knows how to hedge their words. You watch it and they don't really say anything. They just say so much hedging that they didn't really say anything at all. Cred's been consistent, bull. That's been my thoughts too. We just both have difference of opinions at retraces. So we'll see what happens. And I follow Credible Crypto, right? So I don't follow really any other content creators. I don't like disagreeing with other content creators. It's not my thing. But I like to give credit on people that I see things happening with, and Cred's one of them. But I don't follow. I get asked about a lot of content creators. I don't follow them, but I happen to follow Cred. Puneet says, I have made my profits. I get scared in retracements. I just worried about scenario where F did not hit second retracement. The chart you have shown. You just get scared about where F did not hit second retracement? Not sure what you're talking about. If you're scared, then you're overexposed to the market. And that's the reality. If you're scared, you're overexposed. Continue is spelled wrong. Oh, no kidding. No way, bro. Yeah, dude, you guys allowed this for this long? Will it continue, right? That's how you spell continue, right? No, continue, right? Yeah. You guys allowed that for that long? Oh, no. Hold on, let me go to my Twitter. Please tell me that I've had that wrong the whole time. Will it continue? I sure have. Thank you, guys. Let's go. All right. Yes, I go add this. And you're like, no, dude, you still don't get it. All right, cool. Hey, guys. When I was going to college, this is not a joke. When I was going to college, I had to take the SAT 3 times. So on the SAT, you can score 800 in math and you can score 800 in reading comprehension. To get into college, you had to score like a 560 or something like that in each one of them, in reading comprehension and in math for the school that I wanted to go to. And I had to take the SAT 3 times. In the math portion, I got a 780, a 790, and a 780. We're talking like missing one question on the SAT for perfect scores for math. So we're like practically perfect scores on math on SAT 3 times, but I had to take it 3 times because I couldn't get that 560 on reading comprehension. I'd get like a 520, a 540, a 550. But I don't remember. Maybe it was both. Like one time I missed it by 10 points, which means I missed it by one question. So I got like a 790 in the math and got like a 550 on the reading comprehension. And I had to retake the SAT for a 3rd time because I missed it by 1. Yeah, so I'm definitely not surprised that happened. It's always been math. And it's funny because it's been that way with my daughter too. Math, she can crush it. Just like easy peasy. But when it comes to that reading comprehension stuff, it's just our brains are wired a little different. Thank you very much for pointing out the knit to you. Alpha Trader Inc. 4 months says, time has come to tell everyone when moon. Well, I'm going to bet you. How many people sold the bags waiting for 12K? And we got moon. When you sell. Kale says free DAI. Yeah, there you go. Post over there on Twitter. Here, I'll do it right. Here, let me see if I can find it. Go to my Twitter. When was he suspended? I'll retweet it right now. And then you guys retweet. We'll go on a crazy retweet right now to try to get DAI unsuspended from Twitter. Where is it? Anybody remember the date that it happened on? There it is. Hey, X support. On. And is missed. All right, if you want to retweet it and tag it and do all that stuff, let's go for it again. Yeah, that's the only way we're going to get their attention is like masses. Like if one person does it, that's okay. Like if I do it, okay, that's fine. But if a bunch of you retweet it and go for it at the exact same time, it's got to catch their attention. So maybe we'll just slam them all today and hopefully something happens from it. All right. Vlad Pawn Czar. Been a while. Says, hello, I'm still here. Awesome. What's up? Good to see you. Max Wilson says, go on, BCB. Tell us more alts that you just bought. Yeah, so like the problem with talking about alts is that, you know, you can have some take off and your victories are great, but the lessons learned is the ones that don't do well, you will hear about for years to come. So there's not a whole lot. It's not enticing for me to do it. And I already saw one super chat come through here and he's like, hey, tell me about the H bar targets that you have. Like, great. There we go. Then that immediately, like, hey, give me give me your trade calls. Like the second you even say I bought something, hey, give me your trade call. It's like, oh God. And then, that's going to be years of that guy being like, hey, do you still believe in that particular price level? That's the negativity of doing that and sharing that. So I definitely got more than the ones that I mentioned. But history doesn't matter how well you do. It doesn't matter if you kill it on Cardano. It doesn't matter if you kill it on Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Ethereum Classic. The ones that don't do so hot, you just hear about every freaking day for years on end. So it's kind of like, we'll see. I feel like I missed it because I thought I saw it come through here. Somebody had super chatted about H-bar. Did I miss it? BC Adventurer says, hey, BCB, could you share your exit strategy for H-bar? There it is, right? BC Adventurer. I don't even know if I'll hold H-bar for very long, right? So, I mean, my thoughts are, this is an area where a lot of coins are getting hit hard. H-bar has a horrendous inflationary rate. It's got like a 50% annual inflation rate. It's terrible. So it may be a quick rotation for me just to buy something and catch a pump. Why are one of the reasons why H-bar would be chosen? One, price is low. Right? Oh no, I don't remember if I showed this on the live stream, or if I showed this in members only, whatever. Kind of understanding where you are. This could just be a pump back here to these levels right here, and I may get rid of most of it back to these support levels here at like 15 cents or something like that. So it could just be a tripling happening in there. In order for a mega pump to come in this market, we probably need to see that happen throughout the whole market. If we see signs of that emerging throughout the whole market, then maybe I'll hold H-bar longer. One of the reasons H-bar was chosen by me, and it could change, right? We've seen this data change drastically. Like new developer data came out. Developer data for the market looks like garbage, man. The average decline year over year for full-time developers for the crypto market is negative 26%. Even Bitcoin is down 8% year over year, and Ethereum's down like 15% year over year. Those numbers are bad. We haven't seen that before. That's a concern, right? So we're talking about retracements, right? Well, are we seeing developer data where this market is like climbing and lots of developers are coming in? No, we're seeing developers leave this market. That's another sign of like there's not that big interest in this market to catapult it much higher if we're seeing still continued declines in developers, even with Bitcoin being down 8%. We haven't seen that type of decline in Bitcoin developers even in 2018, 2019, and 2020. This is different to see that type of decline happening in Bitcoin, and especially over there in Ethereum, the top two, right? The next one up with the biggest developers is going to be like your Cosmos and your Polkadot, and both of them are seeing big developer declines as well at the same time. However, Hedera is up 13% year over year still. So Hedera is still holding itself. Over here on bcbacker.com, one of the sections in here is research data that improves odds. 38-minute video, long video. But we go through it. We talk a lot about what happened that was different in 2021 compared to 2017. In 2017, if you had accumulated during the bear market of 2015, 9 out of 10 of your alts would have just gone absolutely ballistic if you just accumulated the top 10. And the average return of the top 10 in 2017, right? If in 2015 and 16, you did nothing but accumulate the top 10 assets. Well, in 2017, your average return was 70x. Okay. If in 2018 and 19, or in 2019, you accumulated the top 10, your average return was 12x. Right. And when we say 70x for 2017, there were actually 2 alt seasons that happened in 2017. That's the first alt season. The first one, an average return of the top 10 was 70x. Only one out of the top 10 didn't go like absolutely super YOLO ballistic. Otherwise, the other 9 out of 10 did. But you move over here and you look through 2021, totally different story than 2017. In 2021, 2 out of the top 10. Move on to the top 20. 4 out of the top 20. Move on to the top 30. 6 out of the top 30. You see very consistent pattern in there that it's 2 out of every 10 compared to 2017, where it's 9 out of 10, with the first run being an average return of 70x. Whereas, in 2021, you get one run with alts and they get an average return of 12x, right? Very different dynamic change in the market. And so what were some of the consistent things that at least said the bad ones, right? And there was a lot of developer decline. And so we kind of go through that. We go through each like the top 30 coins and show that math and show how those differences were in there. And that developer decline kind of, and I use an example of like card counting in here, right? Like card counting in blackjack or in a casino. The big misconception about people who don't want to do any of the work for themselves, right? The people who want the trade calls, they want everything to be spoon-fed to them on a platter. It's that they just don't have an understanding of markets. That they think there is a majestic guru out there that has a 100% hit rate. There isn't. I'm going to tell you that right now. There isn't. There's people who are very good at manipulating people into thinking that's what they do by using lots of hedge words and not really being consistent with the words that are coming out of their mouth. But the reality is you kind of have to play odds here. And so if you know the odds from 2021 were 2 out of 10 and that the dynamic of the market has changed and it's not 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, but it went down to 2 out of 10. Well, like in card counting, in blackjack. So if you play blackjack and if you play perfect, if you never rely on feelings or gut instincts or go on tilt and bet huge, but if you're very consistent with your betting, you understand the game of blackjack and you play perfect strategy where you double down on everything you're supposed to, you split when you're supposed to, you surrender when you're supposed to. If you play legitimate, perfect blackjack, textbook, perfect strategy blackjack, the casino's advantage is 52% compared to you with 48%, right? So what a card counter does is they know that the odds can statistically change to where they're in their favor if there are more large cards that sit in the deck. And they shift those odds to themselves to when they have a 52% advantage compared to the casino's 48% advantage, the blackjack player will increase their bet and start betting more. Doesn't mean that they're going to hit it every single time. They know they're not going to hit it every single time. But what they know is that the statistical odds have improved into their favor. And that's what card counting is. And you do it on the law of large numbers. You do it enough times. When the odds are in your favor, you're going to win more money. And that's why you bet more money when the odds are more in your favor if you're playing consistent, perfect strategy blackjack. So when you're looking at crypto, is there anything we can do to make it so where we have a 100% hit rate and we completely nail it and we're perfect and we're the best? No, I don't think you can from 2021. You can look at the ones that went up and you can look at the ones that didn't go up. Very difficult to see what were those exact things that were consistent, right? What is exactly the same between Dogecoin and BNB? Nothing. What's the same between Ethereum Classic and Cardano? Nothing, right? You had the ones that went on big mega runs are going to be your Ethereums, your BNBs, VeChain, Chainlink, Cardano, Dogecoin, and then Ethereum Classic, right? There's not anything that's very, very consistent between them. But what you can see is like the ones who like really struggled, the ones that like really didn't get, like who the worst performers in there were ones that had really big developer decline. And so even though Hedera has positive developer data, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to moon. It's just that the odds are more in its favor, the card counting, right? It doesn't have that really bad thing attached to it, like Algorand, where Algorand is practically abandoned. Show you this. Full-time devs down 56%, down to 37. Part-time's down, one-time's down, totals down. And you can just see the commits downtrending. Downtrending, 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 downtrending. This is a loss of interest. To be fair, a lot of the market did stuff like this, but let's go to XRP. Right, we don't see that big runaway happening there. Where is my thing? Where did I put you? Here you are. right? So see, there's still interest in XRP. There's still climbing of happening of active developers in here, right? See waves, but commit's still grinding to the upside, unlike Algorand, right? Unlike these right here. So these historically have been bad signals. When the market moves up, everything moves up together. That is still how this market does behave. But when we look at it, like when we're looking at like research data that improved odds, like the card counter, if the card counter can eliminate the small cards from the deck and know that the deck is more filled with large cards, then they know that their chances of victory are better. Not 100%. Not even, it doesn't even mean their chances of victory at 60%. They just moved to 52, but they more shift into their favor. And so like when I'm going through stuff, I'm trying to keep that in mind because I've learned this lesson. I talk about, lessons learned from 2017 and 2021, research that improved data and using these examples. And so one of those ones that I'm paying attention to is some of the developer data. And somehow, some way, Hedera still continues to march up with developer data. So there you go. But I will still treat it like the rest of the market. If I think Bitcoin is Doom Goblin Town, and I think we're reaching the end of it, right? If we see, like we talked about at the beginning of this live stream, dang, this thing's an hour and 40 minutes. If we see, like at the beginning of the live stream, we're talking about like there's a divergence, right? If Bitcoin gets back to its retracement levels, gets back to the retracement levels. Let's take off the visualization. So you see here, pulls down, right here. But instead we have altcoin market that does this at this time period. It won't matter what a lot of the prices are at that time. If that's what happens and stuff hasn't hit like specific levels on altcoin charts, doom. That not necessarily doom, but for me, lots of caution. Defense playing will happen right there. But again, I'm gonna have to wrap this thing up soon, guys, because I have to record a whole video today. I burned 2 hours of energy on the live stream. But okay, we're moving on. Thank you very much for support for 4 months, BC Adventurer. Julian Cabrera. Hey, BCB, finally sending a super chat. Is there any chance that XRP just hit wave 4 within wave 5 today? And I think it was a breakout of a consolidation range, right? This is Wyckoff, and that was the breakout of the Wyckoff range. But thank you, Julian. First timer. Welcome. Nazario Navarro says, Bitcoin to 208,000 2025. Wait a minute. 2 weeks ago, everybody said $12,000. Now we're saying 200? I think you're just kidding. You've been a member for a long time. If you're not kidding, I don't know what to tell you. Super Chad will continue to use this name. This is my new name now. Well, thank you, Super Chad. Carl Affable, member for 3 months. Hey, BCB, Credible Crypto just tweeted at you. Oh, boy. I didn't say anything wrong. What did he tweet at me? He said, oh, nice. Thanks for the shout out, BC Backer. I appreciate you. Oh, cool. All right. I've always gotten along with Credible Crypto. He's one of the guys I like in crypto. Stephen Stashik, new member, welcome. Andy Philpott gives 1 BCB membership. Thank you very much, Andy. And then DJ Lavish says, if no SEC case, then XRP to $13 in 2021. So 2022 bottom around $2 using 13 and $2 gives 4.236 extension for upcoming bull market around $51. Thoughts? No. No, because the peak of the range is still $3.30. Right? We've kind of built this up a lot, right? If it catches up to Ethereum, there's so many factors. Keeping an eye on Ethereum. Does it catch up to the market cap of Ethereum? But no, that's 100x from right here, right? I do no. I'm still staying in that like nine. What is it? 976 now is what the market cap would be, right? And so that's the number we're going to track if we ever get that high. If XRP ever gets that high to where 4.236 extensions, its market cap, that's as far as I can reasonably go without feeling like a lunatic. Then I'm like hype, like just I don't know. So, okay. So you're like theorizing the chart has already done that. We have the $13 print, and we've gone down to 2. No, nah, man, I can't do it. I can't do that because we just skipped phase 1. We still have to do phase 1. It's like imagining that phase 1 did happen, but it didn't, because there's still all the profit taking that has to happen there. There's still a silly amount of people that are going to profit take between $3 and $10. There's just a ton of it. There's a ton of it, and it's going to happen. The question is, how outlandish is the narrative? How good of a job do the content creators do telling everybody they're going to get their XRP buyback for $150 million from the Fed for each XRP that they own? And how much will they believe the narrative that JP Morgan is buying out Ripple and all XRP, and the IPO is going to be a quadrillion dollars? It's just all those narratives. That's going to be how influential will the narrative be at the time to convince new buyers to fly in at that time. And that's the problem. So okay. They milked out the buyback narrative. Yeah, do people still believe in that? Well, the escrow burn. So Chris K, you said you forgot the escrow burn. You know what? I don't think that one's outlandish. I think out of all theories, escrow burn could have the most realistic part to it, because you actually saw Stellar Lumens, they burned half their supply. If Ripple did burn a lot of their supply, it might bring down the wall of worry of a lot of people of Ripple owning so much as the supply. So I could actually see that happening and actually having an influence on the market. Because even in an IPO, right, like, which they're nowhere near an IPO, guys, like, don't quit buying into that narrative. Do you realize what it would be like? That why would you IPO with the price this low of XRP? Why would you do it? And like, you can't mark to market it because the people who, and not only that, SEC is not going to approve it. But if you mark to market Ripple's supply of XRP that they own, they could market sell 2% of the entire supply that they own and crash XRP to 0, right? So nobody is going to mark to market their total supply. So, but like, if they did burn supply, it would really lay down a lot of wall of worry of the influence Ripple has. And so I actually, I have no proof of it coming, or even really that it ever would. I have no clue what they're probably laughing. Somebody's watching this saying, BCP is ridiculous. He's so stupid. He thinks we're going to burn our money, right? I mean, it could be like that. But if they did do it, I could see that as being a reasonable catalyst of optimism, right? Because in 2017, when the bull run for XRP did begin, it began with them actually escrowing the XRP in the first place. They announced we're going to be escrowing all this, and then boom, the price surged. If they announced, we're going to burn a bunch of it, that might have influence. I don't think the IPO, all the IPO stuff is just to hype you guys up to buy Ripple equity. I mean, right? It has nothing to do with a real IPO being in the pipeline. The IPO market is crushed right now. Nobody's IPOing right now. And they need XRP's price to rise. They need a lot of interest to rise before anybody's going to end up IPOing. But I kind of I like the escrow burn idea. I just don't know if it's even reasonable at all. If they burned 30 billion, that'd be pretty wild. Kale says free DAI. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 1 hour and 48 minutes on this random Tuesday with Bitcoin above $34,300. I hope that you all had a nice sound sleep last night as we now enter a new phase of this market, waiting for altcoins to catch up. And we have seen some of them already start to go. We've seen Chainlink this week. We've seen Mina this week. And I bet every day we'll have somebody new that we'll kind of take a look at and see who's going every week. But about 100% pumps on those guys. Let's go. Waiting for more to show up. But that was the big psychological level, guys. And I think this market's going to get way more exciting now. And I'm very happy to have escaped that range. Very, very, very happy. So, all right. Guys, that's going to be it for this one. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Again, you want to support the channel, get more info from me, you can check out my newsletter over here, blockchainbacker.substack.com. We had talked all about this stuff. If this all caught you by surprise, you didn't know what was going on, well, we all kind of had a pretty big clue ahead of time over there. And of course, if you want to learn how to fish and not just have the fish thrown at you and then yell at the internet because your fish wasn't very good, learn how to fish. Catch fresh fish. You can check out more content from me, of course, over here. It's over 11 hours of content, $39 one time. No subscriptions, no recurring payments. bcbacker.com. GraphPunk says, what's your future outlook for after Bitcoin dumps? Stablecoins moon? What? I don't know, bro. I don't know. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, you guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching. This was a long Markets in the Morning, hour and 50 minutes. Holy cow. And that's because you guys had so much to say. And thank you all for the support and the super chats and the chats and everything like that. It was a very busy day in here. A lot of people. We have over 2,300 likes today. Wow. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you haven't, if you could, please hit that like button. And give this live stream a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.